Yes, you can do that.
Thank you. I want to correct some of the misunderstandings out there that have been repeated tonight in this chamber. And I also want to explain how we, as Liberal Democrats, have stabilised this council and say why stability is needed at this time. The White Paper heralded the end of Rutland County Council's administrative, though not ceremonial, area. Make no mistake, the White Paper and subsequent bill gives neither Rutland councillors, including me, nor Rutland residents any say as to what happens to us. The decision and the power lies with ministers. All any of us can do is to try and influence that decision. The government identified invitation areas where they asked council leaders to come together with plans for the footprint of the new unitary authorities. Rutland, Leicestershire districts, Leicestershire County and Leicester City was one such invitation area. Our choice was to cooperate within the invitation area or do nothing and simply let others determine our fate. Rutlanders do not want to be part of one Leicestershire, so my tactic was to push for reorganisation before settling the footprint for the mayoral combined authority of LLR. If we'd fast-tracked towards devolution, we would have been tied to reorganisation within Leicestershire and almost certainly been seen as an add-on to the county. It was to stop this fait accompli that I signed a letter of the 10th of January this year. The letter confirmed an in-principle agreement to a mayoral combined authority to link to local government reorganisation, i.e. mayoral authority wouldn't happen in advance of LGR. It was a tactic to give time to work up proposals for reorganisation that best suited Rutland. The letter did not commit Rutland to reorganising with the Leicestershire districts, contrary to statements of our MP and others. It merely committed us to working with them. And it didn't stop me working with other councils, and I did, and have continued to do so. Only in the last fortnight I've had further discussions on LGR with North and South Kesteven and South Holland, despite Rutland not being in the Lincolnshire invitation area. Until initial submissions were made and we knew what options were on the table, there was nothing of substance with public engagement. Once we knew what options were being proposed, we commissioned an external consultant to engage with local residents and reach as wide a cross-section of the public as possible. Engagement sections were held across the county. We also launched a survey, and the initial response I've seen, people are telling us which option they prefer in that. We provided materials for councillors to use with residents, and we organised briefings for parish councils and for you, the councillors of this county. The results of all this engagement and the final analysis of the data will come to council in October with the options, but make no mistake, none of us will choose what happens in Rutland. None of us. All we'll be doing in October is deciding which we think is the best option for Rutland, the best option to submit. And that includes none of the above, clearly. Negotiations with our neighbours are continuing. And so at this delicate time, it would be an advantage for Rutland to have continuity and stability. To my second point, a vote of no confidence in the council's leadership is saying that the council is not well run. Since the Lib Dems took office, this council has become well run. Our services are good and our budget is under control. We took office following a leadership that did not listen, which resulted in us having to withdraw our local plan because the inspector identified what some councillors and residents had been saying, the plan was not deliverable. The council then had a coalition whose hallmark was indecision. They decided to close Catmur's Leisure Centre after a tendering exercise. Showed it was not financially viable, then did a U-turn and decided to rerun the tendering exercise with, unsurprisingly, exactly the same result. By then, Liberal Democrats were the administration and we took the hard decision. The cost of the rerun of the tendering exercise and having to work up a new local plan both added to the financial difficulties we faced when taking office in 2023. We've tackled these challenges with clear, though not always popular, decisions. Under my leadership, all our portfolio holders have played their part, and we've turned around our financial difficulties. We've undertaken very careful and prudent financial management, including transforming services and investing, for example, in our waste trucks, which has led to improved efficiency and increased income. We're now financially stable and are in a position for the first time in 10 years to be able to consider freezing council tax next year. We now have a stable council. And finally, in 2027, 20 months or so from now, we'll be having elections for a new shadow authority. Between now and then, we'll be facing significant challenges. What we and the people of Rutland need now, in the short time left to us, is stability, not churn.